Welcome to the Table of Nations Explained. I am Daniel Adam Fink. I have spent the past 4 years solving the Bible, and now I will explain the Table of Nations. I am now going to explain Genesis 10 for the first and only time, because now that I've explained it, it never needs to be explained. While I explain this most important chapter, bear one thing in mind. We are fortunate because there was a popular program, Sons of Anarchy. No one goes around assuming that anarchy is a person that has children who are the sons of anarchy. This is an idiom. Likewise, children of Israel. Are all the Jews and Samaritans descended from fathers named Israel? Nope. This is an idiom. I happen to be a Jew, but my father's name is Elias. If you bear that idiom in mind, you will understand the entire Bible. And if you think what I am saying is dubious, I will underscore this in Genesis 10, verse 13. Egypt was the father of. And now, the real meaning of Genesis 10. On the left, we have a typical bad Bible version. This is one of the more acceptable versions, but it has many faults. The real meaning of the Bible is on the right. This is the Atlas of Edenites, Afro-Asiatics, and Indo-Europeans, Bible cultures which generated groups. The sons of Shem, Ham, and Japheth are the nations of culture groups, and their sons, that is their B'nai, their descendants, are subgroups. The entire chapter, the entire Bible is arranged geographically. The groups of Indo-Europeans, Caucasus, South Russia, Ukraine, Hellenites, that being Hellenistic culture of not just Greece. The name in Hebrew is Yawan, in Greek it's Ionia. That's the Ionian League and the lands that they controlled. Northwest Turkey, Northeast Turkey, and Mediterranean around the Tyrrhenian Sea. The groups of Caucasus, East Black Sea, Ashkenaz is Euxinus, Ascanias. These are different names of the Black Sea. The Black Sea coast of the Caucasus. West Great Caucasus and East Great Caucasus. And that's it. That is the Indo-European culture from the point of view of Genesis 10 in the Bible during the Greek era, couple hundred years BC. That is when this was recorded. Very important to understand. Let's go to 6. The groups of Afro-Asiatics. I'm sorry, I believe I skipped 4. I apologize. 4, the groups of Hellenites, that being Greece, Tarsus, Cyprus, and Rhodes. From these maritime peoples spread out into their territories by their clans within their nations, each with its own language. So that actually is a little bit strange English. You know, it's coming from many different language translations, but you'll understand. These are the places of the Indo-European groups. The groups of Afro-Asiatics, that is, Ham, the sons of Ham, are Afro-Asiatic groups. Arabia, Egypt, North Africa, and Levant, that being Canaan. The groups of Arabia, Syrian Desert, Great Arabian Desert, Persian Gulf, Red Sea, and Arabian Sea. There are smoking guns, or as I call them, burning bushes to every single one of these. I invite you to either believe me and allow me to explain the evidence, or doubt me and allow me to prove that I'm correct. Either way, I've got us. You're going to love this. Continuing. The groups of Red Sea. South Red Sea and North Red Sea. Arabia was the origin of Nimrod. Nimrod being the god hero of the Babylonians of Iraq. Nimrod is Marduk, Merodach, going by several names. Arabia was the origin of Marduk, Nimrod, Iraq, who became a champion in the land. He was a hunter champion before Yahoo. That is why it is said, like Iraq, a hunter champion before Yahoo. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Nippur. Nippur being the city of the high priesthood in the Sumerian plain. And from that land he went to Assyria. No, in the Bible it says, from that land went forth Ashur. From that land went forth Ashur, that being the personification of the god, hero of Assyria. Ashur, with the capital city of Ashur, where he built Nineveh, Erbil, Ashur, and Nimrud, which is between Nineveh and Ashur, which is the great city. So, Nippur and Ashur, Kalana and Kalach, these are the cities of the high priesthood. We didn't care about high kingship. If you read Moses discussing us being a nation of priests, why did Yosef, that is Joseph, marry the daughter of the priest of On? Because that is ancient culture. The emphasis being on the priesthood. Why could the priest denounce the king so very often in the Bible? Because the priest is like the shaman. It is more important than the chief or the king. The Bible even warns against taking kings. That's Samuel and Saul. But of course, people don't listen. You end up with kings. Continuing. Now, Egypt was the origin of. So you have in Genesis 10:13, Egypt was the father of. And you know Egypt is a place. So if Egypt has sons, what are the sons of Egypt? Those are the parts of Egypt. Those are the groups of Egypt: Delta, Greater Cairo, Fayum, Middle Egypt, Upper Egypt, Eastern Egypt, and Mediterranean, from whom the Philistines came. Canaan was father of, that is, the Levant was father of. Continuing, the light bulb, Egypt is father of. Canaan, Sidon, his primacy. We have a translation saying Sidon his firstborn, yet Sidon is the capital city of Phoenicia, so how can that be a firstborn? It means it's the most important place because that's where the ships come to and from. That is why Sidon is his primacy. And of the Hittites, Jerusalem, Amorites, Aleppo. So we know the Yebusi are from Yebus, and we know that Yebus is Jerusalem. How do we know even more places are cities? Well, let's continue. Jordan Rift. The next 5 are known cities. They are in clay tablets, the Amarna letters, known as cities arranged geographically. The city of Arca, Sianu, which is Tel Sianu, Arwad, which is the island of Arwad, Sumur, and Hamat, which is today called Hamat, the city of Hamat. The Hamatites are people from the city of Hamat. So we know if Canaan, the land, is the father of the city of Hamat, it's an idiom. New York City has children. New York, Buffalo. Rochester, Syracuse. If you're from New York, the idiom makes complete sense. If you're from California, who are the sons of California? Well, we have San Diego, we have Orange County, we have LA. Just the same idiom. Continuing. The boundaries of Canaan, we will get to in another presentation. That you're going to love the most. So, above there we have later the Canaanite clans scattered. From where and to where we will get to. This is the big one. Continuing at 20. These are the groups of Afro-Asiatics by their clans and languages in their territories and nations. Groups were also generated from Eden, whose northern neighbor was Indo-Europeans. So here we have, you have people debating which one is older, Japheth or Shem. Wrong. They're asking the wrong question. What does it actually mean? Shem and Ham and Japheth are culture groups. Northern neighbor was Indo-Europeans. Adonites were the origin of all groups of Hebrews. The groups of Adonites, these are known, all of them, and they're all locations. The correlation is known nations. None of them ever regarded as an individual human. Ever. arranged in a geographical horseshoe-shaped order. Elam, West Iran, Assyria, North Iraq. Arpachshad, where Iraq, Iran, and Turkey come together. Lydia, which is Lydia misspelled in Turkey. And Aramea, Syria. The groups of Aramea. South Turkey, High Lebanon, South-Southeast Turkey, and East-Southeast Turkey. These have province names. If you're not familiar with them, I'm generalizing. I have future presentations where I explain them to the smallest detail. Arpachshad was the origin of northeast Iraq, and northeast Iraq the origin of Hebrews. So did the Hebrews come from northeast Iraq? No. That's where they migrated through. Where are they from? I'll explain in another presentation. That's not in Genesis 10. That comes in Genesis 2 through 9. Continuing. 2 groups were born to Hebrews. This amazed me. I had never read the Bible before this research. I did not know that Chaldeans and Abrahamites were basically the same people who split in different directions to become different people, and had a third group, the Canaanites of Yemen. This is amazing. And now we continue. One was named Euphrates. Phaleg is Phaleg. We have people pronouncing Phaleg as Peleg, which is really embarrassing and humiliating, as if that problem would happen in the deserts of Arabia. Peleg. We can put Peleg to rest. The name is Phaleg. You're welcome. We want to understand the Bible completely. We don't want to be hoodwinked anymore. We want to understand the whole thing. One named Euphrates because sundering name pun, Niflgah. That means the Hebrews scattered at Phaleg. His brother's name was Yemen. Yoktan is the Canaanites of Yemen. Yemen was the origin of Central Yemen, South Yemen, East Yemen, Southwest Yemen, West Yemen. Those are the 5 ancient kingdoms of Yemen, and the 5 ancient capital cities, Sana'a, Zafar, Shabwa, Timnah, and Marib. Next we have Ophir, which is Yaf, northwest Yemen, southwest Oman, and west Oman. All these were groups of Yemen. The region where they live stretched from far west Yemen. Meshech is the port of Mocha, where we get the term for the coffee, toward east of Yemen, because these mountains go between Yemen and Oman. These are the groups of Adonites by their clans and languages in their territories and nations. These are the clans of Noah's groups according to their lines of descent within their nations. From these nations, the nations spread out over the biblical regions after the flood. This is the beginning of actually understanding the Bible. This is the final era in biblical understanding. My name is Daniel Adam Fink. I know you enjoy this presentation, and even if you don't enjoy it,